Okay, hey everyone, welcome back. It's CloPlaysGames, and we're continuing our redo of our playthrough, catching up on the Hannah part of the letter. They hang on to every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile if we are honest. A few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Hannah Wright!
There's a moment of agitation as a familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friends. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He is more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was only odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. Might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxembourg Police, his wife, Rochelle Lee Nevance, owns a General Electronics company, fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight.
Oh, thanks, bro.
I see the husband isn't with ya.
The way he eyes me is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know, the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets and getting too close just because my husband is not here. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Michelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
We make small talk. Wait. Okay. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been eradicated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is a nice enough person and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. His regal... See, it's not just me, it's the Reddit. He regals to me tales of the Luxembourg Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to, and though I loathe to admit, it is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
Oh my! You made him chase you all the way home for a prank! What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Leave. He's a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprising enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
The wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown? I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. That something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
I know what he's talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's
the Ermagood Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course! It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card, right? No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Okay, maybe a lot of people. But it isn't big enough for grand parties to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invite about 30 people to this one and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. As Luke's words and not mine, all Luke's words, not mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? October, Friday, 21st. Luke is dressed to the nines as he usually is. He looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere. You know how I operate, Hannah. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
I love you. Luke, he's not on your side, you dick.
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
Just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it's been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the Triad tasting.
Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements. I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour-and-a-half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I been offended? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff!
Certainly any problem can be discussed. As long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hannah?
Okay, guys, I'm gonna check in 3, 2, 1, boop! I am happy. And I'm sure he will be too once he gets over this little upset. There's no point in abrogating anymore, so I keep myself from commenting on the issue any further. I think yeah. A sweet smile and a bowed head, no need to provoke. That is how I cope.
So, when do we leave? Where are we even going?
We're scheduled to leave after lunch for the Ermengarde Mansion?
Ermengarde Mansion.
Das ist ja interessant. It's just Deutsch name. Is that infamous mansion? Yeah?
Yeah.
I have seen it from afar. It's a huge property. Very beautiful if it wasn't left abandoned. Certainly a house befitting lords and ladies of the land.
A house good enough for nobles, huh? It is well known then? I guess that doesn't make it a total waste of time.
Our old sous chef mentioned going there for Halloween last year. We've not seen him since. Not that I mind. He made terrible pumpkin soup.
I smile even as they turn their backs to me. The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion, I see his eyes light up in genuine interest. Apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the Armagad Mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. And the number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxburn certainly did not disappoint, making this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went from Rosewoman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I can not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately, for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she's scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she's panicking over some sort of prank letter or another. The second thing on my mind is how touchy my darling husband is being toward the poor dear. I cannot even plaster a smile on my face, a horrid scowl taking its place. There's no way I can pretend nothing is wrong as I hum.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
He is quick enough to detach his hands, which is all the girl needs to, well, for the lack of a better word, escape.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Her partner follows, shouting after her without hesitation. There's an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor, daft girl, and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman Rose to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. The woman refuses, saying she's not one of her clients her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Oh, it's fine. The poor girl must feel so embarrassed about what she just did. But I say, let bygones be bygones. After all, she's only a child. She looked, 19?
I I shoot Luke an accusing look at these words. After all, he tried flirting with the girl. The nerve of him. Not only that, Isabel girl, but also Mary Ann and Rose too. What kind of husband would think that it's even a remotely good idea to make moves on 3 different women while his wife stands there? Did he drink while I wasn't looking?
She's a bit older than that. But again, I apologize. And if there's any way I can make up for what just happened, just...
I know what you can do. Be a darling flower and get us one of those bottles you plan to serve. Pop it open.
We were planning on serving some champagne. I can get that.
That would be lovely. Much obliged.
Do you want a glass as well, Ms. Wright?
Oh no, I'm fine. I really shouldn't be drinking right now.
And Luke shouldn't be either. But right now I'm too tired for any sort of argument. I don't have any heart to scold him in public as well. I'm certainly not his mother. I would just want to get this horrid day done with, go home and sleep. Perhaps I'll even have a strong cuppa before I head off to bed. Yeah, that sounds nice. When Rose comes back with the champagne, I beckon her over. As I had told her partner before, I have every intent of acquiring this house. Might as well, even if I'm here having second thoughts about getting it for Luke. The moment we, the Wrights, have expressed interest in this place, we've had eyes set on us. If we don't buy it, that might as well be the signal to have busybodies gossip about how we may or might not have lost our fortune. Regardless of the fact that it is false images everywhere when dealing with these people. These are the unspoken rules for people such as ourselves. And besides, I really did like the place. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. It looks like a bad fake of Edward Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Oh, right. She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I set the moment when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project, then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
Oh, hell no. A hush falls upon the room at my request.
What painting?
And lo and behold, the painting is gone. In place, a mirror stands, which leads me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne,
Never mind.
dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna check in 3, 2, 1, boop. Yeah.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you. I don't really need another Maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher property over book club. Priority over book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers could match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the regard, or rather the right mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
It's really not.
Alright, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that ungodly hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. Okay, guys. Anyway, enjoy spooky season. Till next time. Bye.